fucking first. All right, cool. All right, we're recording.
This is gonna be my signature now. This candle.
You like that?
I'm gonna put a candle out for every podcast that I'm on that doesn't belong to me. It's to mark my territory.
Yo, don't stop marking your territory on my podcast.
After dark.
Don't do that.
With a candle.
Don't start marking your territory on my podcast. My podcast. If you want to mark.
Sam says. Oh no, I can't move my.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't move my laptop.
Why not?
Because it's connected to the phone.
Wait, like your phone's gonna die if it's not connected?
Probably not.
This is what's. I have a solution. This is gonna take so much time. We shouldn't. Why did you say something earlier?
It's probably not gonna die. I'm just very dramatic. Dramatic. Oh. Whew, that's scary.
That was scary.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die.
You were scared just now.
Probably.
Got it. You were scared.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Solution number 2.
Let's get to it. Oh, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Calm down. All right, relax, everyone. Relax. This is ridiculous. Could you guys sit down? I mean, we're gonna have to get this show started. Simmer down. Simmer down. You like that face?
No, you
like
see, the
face?
problem is my people are probably like, what the fuck is he dancing at?
Oh, well, you guys say to
and
him.
listening to. He has intro music and clapping from a fake audience.
All right, so I should explain it to the people listening to the podcast who actually did hear the applause. So it's Shayla, my guest here today.
Yes. His counterpart in this business.
My boss Shayla's here today, and she's on IG Live, so they obviously can't hear the sound effects.
No, they can't. They are oppressed. From sound.
Yo, okay, so this one, are there any current events we want to address before we get right into the topic? Like, is there anything pertinent, anything burning you up about niggas lately that we should just we should just knock out before we get into it? What is it?
No, I have a gripe about Pfizer and Moderna though, but we don't.
What is it? What is it?
I bought stock in Pfizer.
You ain't shit.
$400. Shares were only like $35, so I put $400 into Pfizer. And then all these side effects from this vaccine, so I had to sell. So I lost like $50. So I was angry.
Why did you sell?
So then,
why did you just chill until they got rid of the?
Because it started to plummet because Moderna came out. So then I just, you know what? Let me just sell and then buy Moderna, and now Moderna's plummeting. So now I'm like, I should just sell drugs.
Why? So you felt your fallback is drugs, right? You know what about stuff? What about?
English.
Yo, English not my first language.
It's not. It's fine.
You know what I bought stocks in?
What?
Weed. I think it's called NIO or something like that.
I invested in Canopy Growth.
I think it's called NIO, but I was looking at the way it was going. It was like it was between them or Beyond Meat.
What's Beyond Meat?
Beyond Meat.
Oh, meat. Okay.
Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat is a plant-based meat company, like where but it's no soy either. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like a lot of times, when you're substituting to eat healthy, you have to deal with a lot of soy, which has its own kind of effects. But that was Shay hitting the
blame everything on me.
The mic and my phone going off. As soon as I was snitching on her, my phone snitched on me. This is great. But no. It's a very good. That's actually what you just had. The spaghetti that you just tasted, the meat that was in it, that was Beyond Meat.
Good.
It's really good. But it's like it's one of those things where you're investing in something that you believe in also, that turned you into a customer. So it was really between them and the weed, the NIO, and I just went with them because I knew how much I was going to invest, and I would get, because there was less per share, I would get more shares. So I just looked at it like, yo, if this shit blows up, then each share is going to be worth a lot, and I got a lot of them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Okay, that was it.
So that's what my gripe is.
With your stock.
Pfizer and Moderna, because they're going to come out with a whole nother vaccine.
That's what I'm saying, and then their stock's going to go up.
Who? Not if people starts to get paralyzed faces and shit. That's why Pfizer dropped.
I don't even know why you go that route.
Because that's
what they be losing money too.
But they got it to spare.
These mics are really good.
They got it to spare. It's Christmas. You're
like, what are you white folks doing? You guys are buying stocks in Pfizer? Is that what you're doing?
I talk to them every day.
And they're like,
Pfizer. The other is a water company too. They said Disney, so I invested in Disney. Tesla, I invested in Tesla, and then I was poor, so I sold it because I needed the money back. And then Tesla skyrocketed, and I lost. Yeah.
Anything you invest in, like, are you looking to? You gotta look to leave it in there for a minute. You can't look to just like.
That's why shit. I thought Pfizer $400. Just put it in there. $35 a share, $400. I was gonna make bank, and then it dropped.
Yeah, and then in 3 months, when it's like, oh my God, had I left the money in there, you're gonna be that person.
But Bitcoin. Did you invest in Bitcoin?
No.
You need to invest in Bitcoin.
Why?
I put money in Bitcoin probably like 4 months ago. I put $20, $170 so far.
All right, I'm investing in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I'm just letting it sit there.
All right, we are, just for the record, I don't know if we need to say this. We're not stock experts.
I am.
Shit. Like,
no. I be talking to the caucuses, and they be telling me stuff.
Okay.
Let's go get shut down.
I'm like, well, I lost everything. Like, sir, we are a podcast. We are not a financial podcast. We're just a life podcast.
We're an apartment.
Yes, sir. So what about my Instagram page made you think that you should listen to our stock tips? Are you serious? All right. Okay, so this topic, this is an interesting topic for me, because this is coming from the heart. Like this like I was having, it was one of the past discussions, like debates I was having with my wife, actually. And so I talked to her about this. I was like, I gave it a heads up. I was like, yo, I want to talk about this. Like, I find this interesting, and I think that there's a lot of couples that can relate to this from a context standpoint, right? I don't really remember what it was specifically we were talking about. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't share it just to keep, a level of privacy. But one of the phrases that she said was, she was like, I feel like I have to give up on my security for your happiness. And as soon as I heard it, the only thing I could think of was, wait, so what do you feel should happen to you? Do you feel like I should give up on my happiness for your security? Like that was the first thing I thought of. Like that was literally the first thing I thought of. And I was like I don't find that like, if I had to do one of the two, right? Like here's why I say that. I feel like as a guy, I accept the fact that I have to give up on my security for your happiness from the get-go. From the get-go. Like, for example, right?
Yeah, example.
All right. Like, I'm going to take my wife, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I met her, she was competing in Temple University Top Model. So this is person that is constantly in modeling competitions, constantly getting like attention.
I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
From like men and this and that, and constantly getting this and that. And I'm not gonna front. a lot of it made me insecure. Like that's my insecurity, but I checked it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, look, man, like a lot of like like sometimes like I feel like as a guy, it's like you can be insecure about how beautiful your woman is. Like, oh my God, she's going to be away from me. And I know the attention she's about to get. And then other insecurities start to creep in. Like, yo, like, how have I been treating her? Like, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so like now all those things factor in. But it's like, as a guy, it's like, I check myself. I'm like, no. Like you can't ask her to give up on like, you know, going out with her girls and shit, like shit that makes her happy so you could feel more secure. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, as a guy, like I understand, like I do have to give up on my security to a degree to ensure your happiness. Like I'm not gonna, if there's a choice, I don't want you to have to pick my security over your happiness because then you're gonna resent me for it.
Right.
So it's like, if there's a woman, you look at me and you say, I feel like I have to give up on my security for your happiness. I'm like, well, I thought that was like, is that not the sacrifice we're making, or should it be the other way around? Like for like so give me your perspective. Like, do you think like you should give up your happiness for your partner's security, or you feel like you should give up your security for your partner's happiness? That's really the question.
That is such a double-edged sword. I don't know, because I feel like security for happiness is probably, I would say security over anything is more important.
So your security is more important than your partner's happiness.
No, I don't like to say that, but
that's what it'll come down to.
That's what it comes down
like,
to.
Like if they're doing something that makes them happy. But that same thing makes you insecure.
Then you got to check your insecurities though.
But if you're checking your insecurities, right, then their happiness is taking priority.
You got to physically check your insecurity to make sure that it's not something that, if I can't fix it, like if I physically cannot fix my insecurity, and you know this and you've accepted that insecurity that I have, you got to let it go. If you have accepted that insecurity that I have, then yeah, I'm going to expect you to do it for my security.
You're going to expect me to.
Because you accepted that insecurity that I have. So if I'm insecure,
but not accept it as my responsibility, I can just accept that you have it.
So for instance, if you're somebody who has a lot of female friends. Right. So if me and you together and I don't like the fact that you have a lot of female friends.
Right.
Right. And it's a couple in particular I'm not okay with. Mm-hmm. If you know that this is an insecurity for me and you know that this can be damaging to our relationship, then I would expect you to sacrifice some of those friendships for my security.
Versus me saying, if you know that this makes me happy and you know like this
is it worth it?
I guess I could ask you the same question, right? Is it worth it? Because
that's if it's warranted. If it's warranted,
because you're asking me to give up on something that makes me happy just because you're insecure about it. However, if I'm insecure about something that makes you happy, what then?
Is it
Should
warranted?
You give it up? Huh?
Is it warranted?
Well, I mean, that wasn't what you asked.
That's not what I asked you.
In my case, so like, why aren't we going down the same list of questions?
So, okay,
like, it should be the same list of questions on both sides.
Okay, so this is my point.
Is it worth it? Shouldn't be. Is it warranted on the other?
No, because it could. For instance, I've been in relationships in the past where I wasn't always okay with my partner having female friends, and it was warranted because he used to dibble and dabble in his female friends. So to me, it was warranted. So then I say, certain female friends, I'm not okay with you having. If you had sex with this girl, I don't want you to be her friend anymore. That's what I mean by, is it warranted?
Is what warranted?
You sacrificing your happiness for my security.
Well, I mean, I guess
back then
it's only warranted because you're insecure about it, right? If you were not insecure about it, it wouldn't be warranted, right? So it's like, what's ultimately deciding whether or not it's wanted is whether or not you find something insecure.
Right.
That seems like a lot of love. Well, let's take a break and introduce our joining guest. Come on, yo, Phil, I prepared a seat right here for you, bro. You can feel free to eat if you want to. I don't care. Well, I mean, if you just don't crunch loud as shit. But I definitely ate my spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? I brought some spaghetti home. Yo, Shay was fucking it up. Shay was fucking it up. Shay was really fucking it up. She fucked with the Haitian seasoning.
Let me move this because I can't see.
That's still loud. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Perfect. Kim!
Hola!
Hello. All right, we got Kim.
My baby.
Kim and Shayla are actually sisters.
She's
Fun fact. Fun fact.
I'm the
have
cute
two
one.
sisters.
She is.
And
I'm the cute one.
One of my best friends, Phil and I are actually cousins. So we got family. We got family in the building.
Family ties.
And actually, quick mid podcast shout out. They're gonna be doing a great podcast tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
Please tune in to Ase After Dark. Phil and Shay. Well, I looked at Phil when I was.
It's okay. It's
Phil
all right.
and Shay will be doing Ase After Dark to discuss a very juicy topic. You want to drop the topic real quick?
So it's about marriage and growth after divorce.
All right, perfect.
So it'll be interesting.
So check out
for all the ones single and married and divorced.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So here's the topic. We're gonna catch y'all up, right? All right, so here's basically the question when it comes down to it. When you're in a relationship, do you feel like you should give up your security for your partner's happiness, or you feel like you should give up your happiness for your partner's security?
Neither.
What do you mean?
I mean, like,
it's one or the other. It can't be neither. Like, not doing one is doing the other.
Exactly.
Okay.
So no matter what,
so there's no gray area.
So you're saying sacrifice on the jump.
All right. So we'll make something specific. We'll let's say there's something that makes you happy.
Right.
Do you believe you should? But it makes your partner insecure. Should you give that thing up for your partner's security?
I mean, ideally, yes. If you're going to put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should give up your happiness for your partner's security.
If you're going to put it that way, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Kim? What do you think?
I agree within reason. So, I think it depends. So I'm big on not wanting resentment. So I think it depends on how much it matters to the other person. So if it's something that you're like
happy.
Right. But I mean, there could be little things that make you happy, but you could do without. So it's like, okay, if this is a thing that makes me happy, but I could do without it, especially if it's interrupting the peace of my significant other. Like, all right, cool. Like, it's more convenient for me to do this, but you really don't mess with it. It's not the end of the world for me. So fine, I'll stop. But if it's something that you're really like, no, like, I really enjoy this. Like, this friendship is really important to me, or this is just something I really like, and you feeling some type of way about this person, like, thinking they have a right to take it away from you just because of the title, that's when I felt like it makes it, I think it poisons the relationship. Mm-hmm. I think it can cause resentment in the future, especially if you listen to it.
You don't think the sacrifice could cause resentment too?
What do you mean the sacrifice? Like,
well, let's say you do give that thing up, right? For your partner's security, because it's a little thing. You're like, it's a little thing.
Right.
I mean, for me, it's little things become not so little over the course of time, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Let's say it was something little that you gave up. After 3 months of giving it up, it's not too big of a deal. After 3 years of giving it up, it might start to be kind of a big deal. You know what I'm saying? After about 13 years of giving it up, it might be a humongous deal. Like, right. You see what I'm saying? Just from the standpoint of like, I actually gave this thing up for the sole fact that it made you insecure. Not because I felt it was wrong, not because I had any ill intention,
right.
Not because of it was morally wrong, legally wrong, nothing. There was nothing on my end that was alerting enough for me to want to give it up, but I only did it for you. And now it's been 13 years since I've done so. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, after that long, do you still see it being like, you don't see that leading to at least a little bit of entitlement? Like,
well, I mean, that depends on how much significance you're placing on the thing that you're giving up.
Okay.
So that's why I'm like, if this is to that person not that important, if you could be like, look, at the end of the day, if I was single and you didn't exist, this is what I would do. This is how I would roll. But at the end of the day, this is causing dis-ease in our relationship. And I don't really care about it that much. Why not let it go? So I don't feel over the course of years or months, it's going to escalate because it's something you didn't really find that significant in the first place. It's just, it may have been something convenient for you, you know, but if it's something important, something that you really kind of bite in your teeth about, like, oh, I really don't, like you draw and like, this is not really something I want to do, then I can see over the course of time it becoming an issue.
But that's when you have the conversation with that person that has to check that insecurity, because I'm not going to give up something
and then
that
you got to check in the beginning. Then you can't say after 13 years.
No, but you check it when it comes up as a question. So like with the whole friendship thing, like if I don't like that you have female friends, one in particular that you may have slept with, and it's valid, like if I have a valid reason to be insecure about it, and versus somebody who I'm just assuming you like, and I don't want you to be their friend, that's when I'm supposed to check that insecurity. That's not a us thing, that's a me thing.
Right. And my thing with that too is I look at people, but mostly men, if there's something a man really wants to do, he's going to do it. Right. So you could either foster an environment where he's going to do it behind your back, or you at least know about it. So would you prefer that he says, nah, I'm not cool with her, I don't talk to her, I'm going to Phil's house, and he's really with the chick? Or would you prefer him be like, listen, I'm going to see so-and-so, I'll be back around this time? What do you feel more comfortable knowing, or knowing it happens and he lies to you about it? So for me, I just always find it's best, like, listen, if that's something you really need to do, just don't lie to me about it. Like, I'm not going to try to force you to give it up, because you're not. You're just going to lie to me about it.
That makes sense. Actually makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm curious though, what context did you feel like from you was like, if I put it that way, like from what context, like what that makes you, why do you feel like that is your place to give something up that makes you happy for your partner to feel secure?
Because I said it in the sense of like, I don't feel like I should have to give up anything to make anyone feel secure. If it works and we're compatible, then we shouldn't have to feel like we're sacrificing something to get the other, or to appease the other individual. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like, if I know, like you said, right? Like, you know, you don't want me around such and such because, you know, it just seemed kind of funny, right? Mm-hmm. Or you might have said, well, I know that, right? Why would I do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? It should automatically be something that's already on I'm not like that person. I'm married to this person. This should make me happy. Or I'm with this person. She makes me happy. Why would I put that at risk by being around somebody that I used to deal with that I know she doesn't like? Well, but to me, that's not a sacrifice. To me, that's a smart decision.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But if she doesn't like me going to play ball with the fellas on Friday night, but that's something that I like to do, but she doesn't like that because, you know what I mean, she just wants me to be home. I'm not going to sacrifice me spending time with the fellas and doing what I feel like is therapeutic for me because she doesn't want me to do it. Mm-hmm. That's a different story.
So then what decides then? So then you're saying in some cases, basically you're saying in some cases you would sacrifice your happiness for your partner's security, and in other cases you wouldn't. So then what do you use to decide when to do it and when not?
Because like being around somebody I like dealt with before, like what sense of happiness does that mean? Like that doesn't make me happy. That's not something that makes me happy. Like that's something that you just want to do because you just don't give a damn like if she care or not. But if I'm saying like,
doesn't that kind of disqualify it then? Because if you think about it, it's giving up something that makes you happy. Mm-hmm. If the history you have with this person has brought you to a point where, you know what, it doesn't make me that happy to spend time with you, right? Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, it's adding complications in my current relationship and making my woman even more insecure.
Right.
At that point, not spending time with that person is not giving up something that makes you happy. It's just a practical decision. It's just a sensible, logical decision that you made, even in the example you gave. But that excludes that then. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a situation where let's say it's a different situation. Let's say you had a past with someone, but now you and them respect the boundaries.
Got you.
You're in a relationship now. They get that. They're not into messing with dudes who are in relationships either. It's not their thing. But they've had a past with you. You've had a past with them. But just because of that alone, your partner has an issue with it. They have an issue with you and them being friends. Now, this friendship actually serves you. Not only does this person good resource from the standpoint of business conversation, right? Like you bounce artistic ideas off them. That you guys have a genuine friendship. It's not just like, yo, what you had on, blah, how was your day? Nah, it's like real conversation. Like it's a relationship that truly makes you happy.
Right.
But that relationship now makes your partner insecure. Now, in that specific situation, do you give up on that friendship?
Whew. That's tough because, like, at the end of the day, I feel like if I'm with you, I don't feel like you should be insecure. Like, I don't feel like I should give you any reason to be insecure. Like, that's where the trust comes in at, right? Like, if I'm with you, you should trust me enough to know that.
But you can't change somebody's deep-rooted issues.
You can't, but then that's an issue. That's where you got to understand not to ignore the red flags.
Right.
Like, we had this conversation prior. Like, yes, like, you know what I mean? Some of us choose to ignore the red flags. But if one of your insecurities is that, like, you have an issue, whether or not I was with this person or not, like, of me having a relationship, very platonic, with someone of the opposite sex, then maybe you don't trust me, or you can't trust, or you still don't know how to trust.
Right.
So that's where I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, yo, like, why should I have to sacrifice, you know, something that's feeding me, like, in the sense of, like, you know, that's helping me better myself and get to where I need to get to, because of a deep-rooted issue that I should have spotted as a red flag early on.
You and Shay are saying similar things. Like, there are legitimate reasons sometimes where it is the best option to err on the side of that partner's security versus, I mean, in your case, not even what makes you happy, but like just given the situation. But in your case, right, that partner, where you felt like it was suitable for whatever relationship that made you happy for you to give that up, right? Was it the fact that they didn't respect the boundaries of the new relationship, or was it just the pure discomfort that they had a past?
I think it's more of a boundary. It was more of a boundary thing. Like, some people, when they categorize friendships, they don't put boundaries on it. Like, once they get in a relationship, you have a friendship. Once you get in a relationship, there are boundaries that should be put up. And not everybody respects those boundaries, or even not everybody will implement boundaries. So
what do you think the boundary should be?
That's different for every person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I feel like the boundaries should just be really simple. Like, no fucking. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I can't fuck.
It's deeper. It's deeper than
like,
that.
I'm not.
It's deeper than that. Like,
so that's what I'm saying.
I'll give you
but those are the gray areas that you mean causing conflict.
Right.
I think sometimes even like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Say sometimes it goes past the fucking because it could be like the chemistry. Like, we might have great chemistry when we click, we're joking, we're laughing, and yes, it's platonic. But to your girl or
who's
to your
insecure,
wife, who's insecure, it's like, yo, why is he vibing with her?
But then that's also a her thing. That's not necessarily.
It is a her thing.
Why is it that we're at a point in 2020 where insecurity is actually putting up a fight against happiness? Like, those are the two things. Oh my God. Like, it should be a win. Like, look, as much as it breaks like, let's say my woman seemed like she had more chemistry with some other dude, as insecure as it made me, I would focus on how happy it made her, as much as it killed me. I would look at like, damn, I never seen her look like that with me. I never seen her smile like that with me. Like, I would like that. It would eat me up. But it's like, what's organic? This is just happening, man.
Right.
Like, what are you going to come in and block it? And like, well, my insecurity says we have to implement rules so that I can feel safer in this relationship. Or am I just going to accept that, yo, that might be the dude for her? But it's like,
what do you mean that might be the dude?
That might be the dude for her. If she has more chemistry for him,
Right.
If she has more chemistry with him and you're seeing that, I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying if you notice that in your relationship, it's not time for you to like, damn, I got to see where, like for me, I'm like, I got to see where this goes. Cause I'd rather not cock block it and wonder every time I'm at work, are you secretly texting this motherfucker versus like give you the freedom to like, yo, whatever.
Right.
And then see where it goes. Cause if that shit don't turn out to nothing, but I didn't block it at all, I'm more secure in that outcome versus if I blocked it. And then now it didn't turn out to anything. So, because then I'm like, did it not turn out to anything? Or is it like, you know, on some like, is it secretive now? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand why in those situations, we let our insecurity put up a valid argument, valid enough to say, no, we're going to ask this person and give up what makes them happy versus accepting like, oh shit, you might not be the person that makes them happy.
See,
or at least in that moment. We're not talking about forever. At least today, that day, that week, that night, you weren't the person that made them happy that moment. You see what I'm saying? And it's like versus accepting that, we're like, no.
See, I think that depends on the person too, because like I feel like I'm a lot like how you say that you just let people be. Like in the beginning of my relationships, I wasn't. Like I was a lot of the cock blocking, what are you doing? Don't talk to this person. And then you get to a point where you're fighting yourself and you're not fighting this person. You're literally fighting yourself to try to stop. Like you said, try to stop something that's probably going to happen regardless. Or now it's going to happen behind your back. You're not going to know shit. So it gets kind of draining. You get to a point where you, like you said, you got to let people be. You got to let, you know, what was your thing? Let people do what they want to do so you can see what they would rather do.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where you just let people be. Not everybody is like that. Like a lot of people let their insecurities run their mind, run their actions, run their relationships. Doesn't make it a good thing, and it doesn't make it a safe thing.
Doesn't it just lead to more insecurity?
It does. It leads to more insecurities and resentment.
To like the other person, though, I'm going to speak to the insecure woman. It's easier said than done if you have somebody who is solid. Like you know what? You're it. That's it. Like I've been here. I fought this long. I've done this. I've done that. And now they're here and they're just like, I'm not. Like this is it. We solid. We got a family. Like this is what we're doing. So at the end of the day, now I have to figure out what I can take and what I can't take. And so it's not as easy for her to be like, well, maybe because he vibes better with this person, they're meant. It's just like, no, like, you know what I mean? So it's easier said than done to do that when you're deep in and you have all these ties with the person. I'm not saying it's healthier, but
no, you're right. You're right, but that's what I'm saying. The fact that it's hard to do makes us try to normalize not doing it.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? The fact that it's so easy to not check our own insecurities makes it to the point where now we've normalized checking your partner's happiness.
Right.
That's what we checking now. This makes you happy. Well, it doesn't make me secure. So we got to talk about it. Huh? Why aren't you just checking your insecurity?
Right.
You're not saying I'm wrong. You're not saying I'm unreasonable. You're not saying I'm inconsiderate. You're not saying I'm any of those things. So I could be considerate, I could be reasonable, I could be all those things, but my actions still trigger your insecurity and we still have to talk versus you just having a talk with yourself and not talking to me, because that's what I do.
Right.
Like when I notice something is triggered by my own insecurity and it's not necessarily you doing something that's unreasonable or necessarily like wrong in my eyes or logical, I'm like, yo, man, like, you gotta have this conversation with yourself. Right. Where is this coming from? Right. Oh, it came from what that bitch did to you. Right. Okay, well then, nigga, you ain't finished dealing with that. That's not her fault. Right. You can't have her do the time for some other bitch's crime. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not cool. So you know what? You have to give her the same clean slate you gave her. Because what ends up happening is the first person that did you wrong got a clean slate.
Right.
And then they fuck you over. And because they fuck you over, nobody else gets a clean slate. Right. Nobody else gets benefit of the doubt. And for me, that's not fair to the next person. So it's like anytime I I gotta decide between my security or your happiness, the answer is gonna be easy for me. I'm gonna go with your happiness. Because if this is truly what makes you happy, even if it breaks my heart, it's what makes you happy.
I see what you're saying.
I was up against a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was really up against a lot. Like, this makes you, if it makes you happy to see this, like, if you feel like, yo, I'm so happy when I see it, I'm up against a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to, like, even a little kid, you ever try to keep a kid from, like, a toy that really makes them happy? You see the lengths they'll go through to, like, get to that toy. It's like, we're no different. So it's like, why would I ever choose my security over your happiness versus checking my security? Because if my security needs to be catered to, it's proof that I'm insecure.
Right.
And can you really be happy if you're insecure?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Or can you even be the best version of you when you're insecure? Because when you're insecure, that takes over.
Right.
Like, you know what I realized? Everything I do comes from one or two things: desire or insecurity. It's either I really wanted to do it or I was insecure, so I did it. Yeah. Oh, what are they gonna think of me if I don't do this? So that I did it. Or this is what I'm supposed to do as a man, so then I did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or I really wanted to do this, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm doing something and I'm like, I don't really want to do this, I kind of know where it's coming from.
Yeah. Right. I think people need to focus too more on the longevity of what you're looking for. So I feel like most people, when they're dating these days, they're not always looking to the long term, but then some of us are looking too much to the long term as opposed to filling out day by day to see if you're actually compatible with this person.
Right.
But that part goes a long way. Like, let the person show you who they really are so you can see if you could deal with it. Because if you try to mold them into something, all right, temporarily they may be able to rock with it, but eventually they're going to revert back to what their original self was.
Yeah.
And now the relationship is going to disintegrate, or the marriage is going to disintegrate. So at the end of the day, it's like, all right, sit back, see what you could deal with, see if you can work it out in your mind. Like, damn, what is this? Something I don't like because I don't like it, or did society teach me this was wrong, or it shouldn't be this way? Or is he really disrespecting me, or is this who he is? Is this something I really have control over stopping doing, or is he going to do it behind my back? Which do I prefer? Like, it's all these questions you got to ask. But at the end of the day, I value truth. Like, I don't care. Tell me the truth. I value truth.
Over happiness.
What do you mean, like truth over happiness? What do you mean? Truth makes me happy.
Truth makes me happy.
Lies.
When your man come home, he tells you, babe, I fucked up today.
I know where you was going. I just started thinking.
Tell the truth.
Right? I know you are. I'm going to tell the truth. Okay.
Y'all don't know who you're talking to.
Y'all don't know. Yeah. Fake sis. Thanks for your vouch.
I fucked up.
Oh, shit.
Remember that girl Sabrina at my job? I gave her a ride, and I really had to pee. So when I got there, I went inside and used the bathroom, and I came out. She just was telling me about how, like, she's attracted. She's always been to me and stuff. I told that girl. Told I had to go, but I don't know. She just started like kissing me and touching me, and I reacted in a way that felt good to me at the time, and I ended up sleeping with her. Like, we used protection. I'm not looking for it to happen again, but I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm glad I told you, and I'm sure you're happier now.
I'm gonna move back because I'm gonna have the floor.
And I'm sure you're happier because the truth makes you happier. So however you were feeling before I told you this, I'm sure.
Y'all see, y'all not catching the clue.
I'm sure you're happier now than before. What do you say to that? You're like, oh my God, I'm ecstatic.
Would you like to stand up?
I'm way happier.
Would you like to stand up?
I'm way happier.
You know what the thing is? I don't know how to Because
you can't without
saying
it.
Right. So do I or don't I?
Don't.
What do you mean? Like, this is a general question. You're making it specific. I feel like
it has
I feel
to
like
be.
there is a specific scenario. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
She's happy with the truth. That's it.
Well, I'm just saying you're happier with the truth, right? Like, so
it's required. It's a required.
Okay, so all right, so that made your night. That you're going to bed happier than if you never got that information. That's what you're saying.
Oh gosh, how do I do?
It's a required.
Because I think y'all mixing up the word prefer and happy with.
It's an agreement we have.
I think
we have an agreement that there are no deal breakers.
I think
as long as truth is involved.
Okay.
That's why y'all laughing, and
I understand that. That's called amnesty. That means right. That's called amnesty. That's called amnesty. Okay. If I tell you the truth, it can't be used. Right? Immunity. Right? If I tell you the truth, it can't be used against me.
Right.
But I'm saying your statement was truth actually makes me happier. And I'm like,
it does make me happy.
Yo, in that case, I would never lie.
It makes me very happy because at the end of the day, I'm on the phone for hours. I'm looking at this person as somebody who checks so many boxes for me. And at the end of the day, if we make it to marriage, I'm walking down the aisle to a man that I straight up know. So I know what he does and what he doesn't do. Like,
but it's not a deal breaker. You could never be like what? Okay, so it's not and you're not gonna treat him different.
No, it's not.
So he finished telling you that, and he's like, "Yo, what's up? What's some head? What it is?
You like it?
Where we at with it?
Where we at with it, boo? Yeah. Okay, all right.
You can't use my fits against me. I'm gonna take a shower. But you know what? Her head was so trash. It was.
Listen, I'm in an interesting setup.
But that's so dope.
I'm in a very interesting setup that makes me.
It really must.
It gives me a lot of joy. All right, but it's not always the perfectly easy setup. But I realized that throughout the course of relationships and just things I've seen out here, that I prefer to know the person I'm dealing with. Okay. And the fact that he's willing to give me those truths as opposed to lying. And plus, what people don't understand, a lot of men, especially women, are very intuitive. You know when your man, that stuff, I didn't know he cheated. I didn't know that. Fuck out of here. If you are really into this dude, you know. Like, you just know. So lying to me does nothing but set my mind crazy. It makes me wonder why, who, like this and this. The truth, it seems to just shut any questions I have down. Like, it's just like, it is.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. If that's truly the way you handle that kind of information, then in my opinion, you've created the environment that welcomes the truth.
Right.
I think that's like, that's the point that I think so many people like miss. It's like, you can ask for the truth all you want.
Right.
But do you welcome it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I give you the truth and it comes with consequence, it comes with drama, it comes with conflict. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you feel like that encourages me to tell you the truth?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say I was like, yo, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. I wanna please you in bed. I want you to tell me the truth about how I please you in bed, right? And then we have sex. And you're like, yo, shit was pretty bad.
Opportunity to
like, let's say you're like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot about you to improve. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't really eat the pussy really well. You know what I'm saying? Your rhythm was off. You didn't really like it. And then while you're telling them this, they're breaking down.
Right.
It's fucking break. But you're like, wait, what's happening?
Right.
You're like, can you handle this? No, I asked for the truth, so just tell me. Okay, just tell me. Right? It's not comfortable though. You're not like, yeah, I asked for the truth. I'm not welcoming it. Let's say you give me all this feedback. All right, no problem. I'm gonna be fine. Right. You're like, I'm broken down. I'm shattered. Like, you're witnessing this. You're experiencing this with me.
Right.
You're experiencing this with me. So the next time we have sex, right? We have sex again. I'm like, all right. Well, I'm gonna put everything. I'm gonna apply everything you said. Right? We have sex again. It's even worse than the first time. Like,
Why is it getting worse?
You're thinking about it too much. As Phil knows, once you turn sex, any man knows. Any man knows. Once you turn sex into like a fucking project, a goddamn job, any form of an obligation, it stops being fun. It just stops. You begin to feel inadequate. You begin to feel like you're trying to meet a mark, like versus like you're experiencing and you're actually accepted by this person. Like sex for us as guys is you saying yes. We was trying to fuck the first day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you finally said yes. So it's like, for us, it's a form of acceptance. So it's like, if it turns from that to like, now you're being graded, that's horrible. It becomes too much. Like, okay, so now you have, so now he has that.
That feedback isn't healthy though?
I mean, I think it becomes from a good place. I think it becomes from a good place. I think that's the key to everything. If it comes from a good place, you can say anything to me if it comes from a good place. So now that second time, it's even worse. And he's like, oh, how did I do? Right? Do you feel as, we're not going to say whether or not, we're not even going to go into whether or not you're going to tell the truth or not, right? Whether you're going to tell them, we're going to ask you about feelings first. Like, do you feel as comfortable divulging the honest to God truth on this person after how the last truth you gave was welcomed?
Right.
Sure, I got a question.
Right.
There are some questions? All right, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to take a question break.
Hold on. Can you go press that question button?
Why don't you just read them from here?
Yeah, from
Weirdo. It's the same question. Do you think it's going to be a different set of questions?
So, why do you want to stay with someone who's not giving the same effort? Or why do we try to fix something that is hopeless faith?
All right, so the first question is you can't measure effort, right? Like, effort is always going to be based on your opinion. You can look at somebody and say, they're not giving up effort, right? But they're giving up everything they got. It's just to you, it's not enough effort and so on and so forth. But effort has to do with how much they're trying. So how do you measure how someone else is trying? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You only have context clues. How they respond to what you say. You see what I'm saying? Like you watching their behaviors. But I don't think there's really a true way to measure effort. So you don't really have a true knowledge of what their effort is, which always makes you kind of question whether or not you're being too hard on the judgment of their effort, if that makes sense. What was the other question?
Do you want to add anything, Phil or Kim? No. Are we dating for our future or to pass time?
Dating has always been for one reason to me. See where it goes. What the fuck is up with people?
I think it means in the regards to this topic, like to the sacrifice part. If we're dating to pass time, then fuck no, I'm not sacrificing shit because it's not gonna pan anywhere, especially if I know.
But do you date to pass time? Is that even something you do?
No, not now, but I have.
All right.
So, and did I sacrifice anything for that? No.
Okay.
Big old hoe.
What? No, she not.
No, I wasn't. I was when I was just dating the past time.
When was you a big old hoe?
I
did not know you in college. This is crazy, yo.
You didn't know I went to college.
I did not know you in college.
Oh no, you didn't know.
I actually should have been invited.
Oh my God! Shut up. Okay, the last one. Kim, how do you facilitate an environment for him to trust that he can be completely honest and that there's truly no deal breakers?
Well, and I'm a guest before you answer. It's such a rare
level of acceptance.
Because of how you handle the truths. That's what, for me as a guy, that's what's going to determine. Like, if you tell me I could tell you anything, I'm going to give you a test.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you some light shit.
Convincing.
I'm going to tell you some light shit. I'm going to tell you some light shit. But if you snap on the light shit, I'm like, oh, no, my friend. There's no way you was going to be able to handle the heavy shit.
The truth of the matter, too, is as a woman, if you want to facilitate an environment of truth, one, I feel like you have to be secure in certain things. And how do I explain this? You have to be secure in certain things. And it literally has to give you peace. So that was my main test. So I'm like, okay, it took a little, he was looking at me like I was crazy, like he would not believe in this setup I wanted to have with the truth. And I convinced him, like, listen, it gives me more peace. Like, I know who you are. I know what you're going to do, whether you lie to me about it or not. Okay? And I'm accepting you check all my boxes. All right, maybe you don't not a dude that want to be with one woman for the next 50 years of your life. I'm realizing that's not a deal breaker. But what's a deal breaker is you lying to me about it. You lying to me and thinking you're going to give me a ring and I'm going to walk down the aisle to you. And you out here doing whatever. And I'm thinking I have a one girl type dude. That's not okay with me. So he kind of went and told the truth about things, and it gave me, like, this is when the woman, you need to check yourself inside. How does it make you feel? Is it making you want to ask all these questions? Who, when, how, what position? When does this happen? Or do you really feel settled? And the truth of the matter is, I literally felt settled. I didn't have questions. I didn't know what she wanted.
Did it turn you on a little?
Even were you a row?
No, but the truth of the matter is, I'll tell you this. When I imagine a man who it sounds weird, but if you really think about it, it is something attractive about a man that could get females. Like that's true. And I do find it attractive that he's attractive in that way. But I can't say it turns me on per se, but he's open enough to maybe show me things like videos or whatever, and that's fun.
Wait, and you've never seen any, so there's never been something that he was like, oh my God, I did not think this would turn me on, but it actually did, and it involves him and someone else.
It was, actually, I took pointers from one video. I was like, yo, this chick is a fucking...
What was she doing in the video? Riding, giving head? What was she doing? Head?
Beast.
Yo, pause, bro.
Oh, beast, girl.
A lot of information.
Why did I just give head sound effects? Why did I just give...
Oh, beast. So
that's because I watch too much porn. That's really what it is.
Why.
What was that though? What the hell?
That's why. Where you get it? Where you going? Where you going with it? Nah, that's not why. What's the real reason? What's the real reason?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know, huh? Sound like something on your mind. It sound like it. Shut this whole podcast down.
Listen.
It's over.
Suspecting me.
Why? No, but there's stuff to learn from a person's past experiences. And then that's why when you were talking about...
I think that's actually dope. Like, I think that's actually so dope. Because, like, let's be honest here. He ends up benefiting.
Right.
Like, you taking pointers from something he liked that maybe you hadn't even thought of.
Yeah.
Like, some people actually take offense to that. Oh, this bitch. Like, this bitch just knew some shit you didn't know. That's it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe she had an ex that liked that shit and he likes it too. It could be something that simple. Right. But it's like people take so much offense to situations that are actually, in my opinion, learning moments.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I'm all about being the best me. So criticism and things like that, I'm like, all right, cool, taking point. So in my mind, I don't feel competitive per se, but if I'm like, yo, you're showing me a past experience of a girl who you say is top-notch head giver, and I'm keeping in my mind that I don't do it like that, and I'm like, okay, that's what she doing. Okay,
so she was giving him head?
Yeah.
What was she doing that was like that?
Everything was fucking great.
I want to know what tip.
It was just stuff.
What's one thing you was like, oh shit, this bitch is doing this? Was she like
her gag reflex was like not existent.
As a head, I'm gonna be honest. As a guy, look. The men might turn on me on this. It doesn't do much for me.
What?
Seeing you.
Do they like that? They like that.
I don't know.
I'm talking about. I find that not to be a fun part of that.
Yeah, like I don't need you to gag.
So if there's a girl who has mastered not, like, if she found a way to give him pleasure around that, I think that's beast mode right there. Like, that's amazing.
Pleasure around that. I don't know what that means. Pleasure around that.
If she can. If she's found a way to make her gag reflex not as reflexive.
No, I get it, but I'm like, let's say you did,
men
right?
like
And then
to
now
be
you're
deep-throated.
like,
and as a woman, you don't like to feel like you're about to vomit, and that's what your gag reflex can make you feel.
As a man, I don't know if I don't like that.
We need to go to church tomorrow, everybody.
Wait, Phil, I don't know if I don't like that. All right, let's look at two scenarios. You have one woman who has excellent gag reflex, where she can.
Look, the girl was just a beast.
Wait.
The girl was just a beast all
One girl's a beast. One girl. But I'm just telling you as a guy. This girl's a beast. Like she just.
No, you're making a lot of fucking.
She fucking. I watched a lot of porn. I watched a lot of porn. So she's like, she eating all of it, like all of it, not making no sound. Do you like that as a guy? Do I like her more than the other girl who's like?
The fuck, Sam?
The girl just seems like she's struggling. That's more for my ego. Like you just eating my dick like all easy. I'm more insecure about that. Like what is happening? Like I'm more insecure about that. I'd rather the girl like, yeah, bitch, you struggling, ain't you? It's too much dick. It's too much dick for you, ain't it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all be doing that shit. Y'all be doing the most. It be causing a reverse effect. Don't just eat my dick all easily. Struggle a little. Struggle a little bit. Like I want to see some eyes. Your eyes water a little.
Right.
want you to look like you just survived the strangulation to a degree. Make up a little fucked up. I don't want you to look all like, yes, no problem. What? No problem. Who you been practicing on? What? What? Nah. Okay. But okay.
Tangent.
We went off.
So,
well, all right. Okay. I gotta stay focused.
But I'm just saying, there's things you could learn through the truth.
No, I think that's dope, but that's what I'm saying. I'm actually praising that. Like, it takes a lot of security, in my opinion, because like I think that would trigger. As a guy, I'm gonna tell you, there's no fucking way. No fucking way. I'm not looking at no video like, oh, she like that, shots like that. I'm gonna start giving her like, my dick is getting soft by the second. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just look at me like inadequate. He's the one. That's what would trigger for me. Unless I don't know, maybe if I'd feel different if it's like some past relationship.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, this is what I like. Oh, okay, like maybe skills, like. But
and one video I did like that he showed me made me remind one that I was like, oh, why did I like that a little bit?
Really? But, what was that one about?
He was hitting her from the back.
What did you like about it? Was it what he was doing, what she was doing?
It's just an angle that I don't get to see him at because I'm in the mix. So seeing that with someone.
What was the angle? Was he holding the phone or was somebody else holding the phone?
I'm gonna get on detail.
You already got all into
the phone was set up.
Really? The phone was set up. Yeah, freak boy.
Yeah, I think we should be quiet now.
We should be quiet.
No, but no, I find it healthy. Long story short, I find it very healthy. And if this person marks off so many boxes for you, to me, the truth, if you can handle, and it has to be your setup. You have to be like, listen, this is not a deal breaker for me. And if you could find that in your heart where it's really not a deal breaker, and you don't feel like anything he does outside of you is a threat on your relationship, then why not? And I'm not gonna sit here and say everything is 100% easy to deal with, or there's no things where I'm like, nah, not that type thing. Like it we all have our limitations, but at the end of the day, I prefer for a person to keep it real. Like, who are you? And if we make it to that final, I know I'm not going to be married with you and kids, and now finding out you this dude that does this other stuff, and now it's a wrap because I never accepted that, or that's not what I wanted for myself. We're in a phase now where we still can decide whether we, want to take it to the long haul or not. So you do you, I do me. What we like and don't like, we deal with it. And if this isn't a situation that works for us both, then we just don't do it. But so far, so good. So.
Okay. All right. So my next question. Are you, based on what we've talked about, are you okay with your partner choosing their personal happiness over your security?
Yes. Because I feel like that's what I should be doing too. Like, why would I be with somebody and I can't be happy? I have to sacrifice my happiness, but watch them be happy all day.
Right.
That makes no sense. That's not the person for me. So if I know what I need to do to make myself happy, that's what I'm going to do. I tell people all the time, well, now, you should choose your own happiness first. Before you can make somebody else happy, you got to make yourself happy. So if being with that person is going to make you sacrifice the happiness, you're not with the right person.
Right.
So I encourage her to choose her happiness because she shouldn't feel like she needs to sacrifice it.
Right.
I agree.
Right. And I mean, I guess from the whole conversation we just had, you guys can kind of figure out what my answer is to that too. You know, I don't want you fronting to do something to put me in a certain level in your life and then later being like, you know what, I can't do this. Like, this doesn't make me happy. Keep it real in advance. Like, resentment. This is what I need. This is how I'm set up. Like, this is what I could promise that I won't do. This is what I can't promise that I won't do. And it's up to me to be like, all right, you're just good enough for now. And maybe that'll change, or you're good enough. That's good enough for me to marry. Like,
you don't want that person to resent you.
Right, exactly.
Like, that'll
and I don't want to be lied to. That's my main thing. I do not want to be lied to.
I think the healthy thing for you too is that you know when you need to check your insecurities as opposed to addressing him to make you feel secure.
Right.
Like, that's one thing about your dynamic that I like. Not a lot of people do, and not a lot of people have, and you don't see it often. Like, the minute that you feel something, you learn how to address yourself before you address.
Guess who I learned that from?
Oh, look at you.
I always say Sam he's the reason why I could be in the type of relationship that I am in. He's the reason why I'm in the healthiest relationship I've ever been, because just over the years, the questions he would ask me that made me self-reflect on things like, is this what I believe, or is this what I was taught to believe? Is this really a deal breaker, or is this what I'm told should be a deal breaker? Like, all those things. Yeah. And just over the years, thinking like that have given me such peace that when I finally got a situation to test it all, I'm like, yo, I'm in the most healthiest relationship I've ever been in my life. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's all easy and perfect. I'm having to unlearn a lot of societal standards and norms. It's even not that easy for me to talk about it here because of the possible judgments and stuff. But again, at the end of the day, I'm in something very healthy. And if I walk down the aisle to this man, I know who my man is. Right. Do you?
Right. I think that's really, but that's really the key.
Right.
Because you say you value honesty, but you back it up by creating an environment, as you say, that fosters honesty.
Right.
So it's like, you're not just saying you want it, you're actually putting your money where your mouth is. So yeah, when you're going down the aisle, you do have that honest knowledge of knowing who this person is. Because that's the biggest deal breaker. Yeah. Like, I didn't know you were this person.
Right.
I thought you were this person. Now I'm finding out you're that person I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, so what I see most times, or all over the dating scene nowadays, is people just demanding. They're just demanding honesty. They don't give a shit. And they demand it from the standpoint of status. I am your, I get honesty. I am your girlfriend. I am your boyfriend. I am your fiance. I am your husband. I am your wife. It's like they look at honesty like something that should be just handed to them based on the status that they hold in your life, not necessarily because they fostered the environment where you feel comfortable being honest. And as a result of that, people give them the honesty that they feel they want to hear.
Right, right.
And then so that when they're walking down the aisle, they don't know who that person is.
Exactly. And I don't want that. That doesn't give me peace. And like I said, I'm very intuitive. I know when this dude not telling me the truth and I can't take it. That's when it is like not comfortable for me. Yeah. But it seems to shut all further questions down otherwise. But again, as a woman, you have to, one, that has to not be a deal breaker. And then two, you have to really want to know the person you're with.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you allow them to show you, then you can make a better decision going forward as to where you want to place them in your life, as opposed to trying to mold them because of where you think you want to place them, just for them to turn back to what they actually are.
Always been.
Yeah.
So it's not even really turn back; it's reveal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like it's like I think it's literally impossible to have a long, lasting relationship with someone if you haven't even established the knowledge of who each other is.
Right. At the core.
Like, you don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. You're just portraying this image of who you feel you should be for me. I'm portraying this image of who I feel I should be for you, and anything that doesn't fit that mold, I'm suppressing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you never really know who I am. And what's crazy about it is people don't understand the connections that take place after you do divulge who you are.
Right.
You reveal certain things at times. It's like, oh my God, where you're now exploring each other, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, on levels that you never, things you were both insecure. There's no sweeter feeling than finding out you're both insecure about the same thing.
Right.
It instantly makes you not insecure about it anymore. It instantly makes it something that's empowering that you can like overcome together as a couple. But it's like, if everyone's keeping like maintaining this front of like, this is who I am, this is who I am for you, and so on and so forth, it's like, then you never really get who that person is. And then now, where does that leave you?
Right. And that goes back to the original question with the sacrificing, for happiness. Like, are you sacrificing the truth for this person's false sense of happiness? And that's what a lot of people are doing. They're telling you, okay, I'm not going to do it just so you could, but it's not from a real place. It's not from a genuine place. And you can't uphold that forever. That's temporary.
Have you ever felt like you had to choose? You too?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah.
Was it by request or?
No, I feel like it came through not having a choice, where you end up in a situation where you're like, okay, either I cave and check myself to make this person happy, or I address the situation and tell this person to check themselves so I feel secure. So, for instance, like my breaking point where I finally said, you know what, like, I'd rather just let you just do what you want to do so I can see where I stand with you and where this relationship stands. That's where I had to make that decision. Like, do I check myself or do I check you? And I got to the point where I said I had to check myself, because I can't, if you're in a place when you're extremely insecure and you're with somebody who's secure, free, and just they know who they are, they know what they want to do, it can make you more insecure.
Right.
And when you get to that point where you have to finally say, we're not compatible. Why are we not compatible? We're not compatible because I'm not giving you an opportunity to be yourself. That's why. I'm not giving you an opportunity to grow. I'm not giving you an opportunity to be yourself. I want you to fit this mold as to make me feel good, to make me feel comfortable, to make me feel safe. That shit is tiring for both people. And so that's where I had to make the decision.
Okay.
So yeah, I was backed into a corner before. And that's when I finally, you throw your hands back and just say, listen, do what you want to do so I can finally see what it is that you want to do.
Because anything else is a waste of time.
Right.
You're not going to, like she said, you're not going to know who that person is.
And you know what's crazy? I'm sorry to cut you off. So many women prefer that stance. Like, I said that you better not touch nobody else and that's it. All right, cool. That's your rule. That's what you rock with, fine, but he's just gonna do it behind your back. So do you prefer to facilitate an environment where he can admit to you if that's something that aligns with who he is or not?
Well, the bigger question is, do they actually prefer the truth?
Right.
Like, well, if you don't foster an environment that welcomes the truth, do you actually prefer the truth, or do you prefer to hear what you want to hear?
Right. And some people rather just not know.
Exactly. Like some
people are good enough. If they don't know, then that's fine. They can,
so they rather put you in a position where you're going to give them the lie they want to hear.
Right.
And then they'll sleep good at night.
Right.
They have the best sleep they ever had. So for those people, doesn't it make you wonder, do those people actually prefer the truth? I know they're asking for the truth, but do they actually prefer the truth? You know what I mean?
Right. And and I think some people are actually happy with that. I think some people are actually happy with as long as they don't know. They may be like, you know what, I think my dude be out here doing some stuff, but as long as I don't find out, we good. And if you could find peace in that, cool. I'm not judging that. But at the end of the day, like, that just don't work for me. Like, I need to, don't lie to me. Don't tell me something you're not. Like, no chick is going to be like, yo, your man did this and this to me and I don't know about it.
Yeah, personally for me, I always look at it this way, the long run. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand that temporary happiness is a drug. It's a drug. Mm-hmm. Like, people will do anything to get that immediate gratification of being happy now. So for me, I know that the decisions I make has to prioritize my long-term happiness. Right. So for me, I look at it like, okay, if both of us, let's say both of us decided on something and we're going to do this, us both, from now until the end of our relationship. I play both scenarios out in my mind. Let's say we both decided we're going to sacrifice our happiness for each other's security. I'm playing that down the line in my head. And then I look at the opposite. I say that now both of us decided we're going to sacrifice our security for each other's happiness. And I play that scenario down in my head. I foresee a happier outcome when we sacrifice our insecurities for our partner's happiness. Because what that ends up happening is that partner, you get the best version of them. Right. Because they're coming to you happy. Right. They're not coming to you full of resentment from having to give up something that made them happy. Right. They're not coming to you full of like entitlement, like, well, what are you going to sacrifice to make this right? Do you know what I'm saying? They're not coming to you with any anger of like, damn, yo, I really gave up something I wanted. Is this person even worth it? Blah, blah, blah. Right. They're not coming to you with any of that. They're coming to you with the energy of someone that does what makes them happy. So if they're giving that same thing to you, right? You've agreed, you're giving it to them too. That by itself should make you even less upset about them doing what makes them happy, because at the end of the day, you have the same freedom. Right. And you never have to give up what makes you happy for their security. So it's like, from the standpoint of resentment, that's gone. And I look at the other scenario and I'm like, I would wake up feeling resentment and entitlement every day. Mm-hmm. Right. I would just wake up feeling like, well, I fucking gave this up. Now you're going to fucking give that up. Like, shit, if I'm prioritizing your happiness, right? Then I have to trust with confidence that you're prioritizing mine, which means, nigga, I'm on an investigation. Every day I'm doing checks and balances to make sure my happiness is being as prioritized to you as yours is being to me. Whereas if we just entrust ourselves with each other's, with our own happiness, right? I'll be in charge of my happiness. You'll be in charge of your happiness. Now, if in the course of you doing what makes you happy, we don't work, we were just not compatible. Right. Or if in the course of me doing what makes me happy, we didn't work, we were just not compatible. Right. Let's just accept that. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's like, that's my outlook on it. Right. Like, I think that I do not believe that your personal happiness should be sacrificed for your partner's security. I believe that that's a form of catering that's going to create a sense of codependency, where that partner is going to constantly, like, to what end? Mm-hmm. That's just a start. That never just ends there. There's going to be something else that's added to the list. Well, now this makes me insecure too. So if you understood in the last scenario that you have to give it up for me to be happy, then same rule applies. There's no way two people are going to go through life 50, 40 years, and then at the tally both feel equal. They both feel like they've sacrificed equally, and so on and so forth. But if you don't put them in situations where they have to sacrifice, I think you have a better chance of a long-lasting, happy relationship. So it's like, those are the odds I try to play. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is going to increase the odds I have a long-lasting, happy relationship? Now, this shit could crash and burn, but this is the only path.
Right.
Like, this is the only way. Like, another way does not really increase the odds I'm in a long-lasting, happy relationship. If we take this path and we get through this, the other side of that is a long-lasting, happy relationship. And I think that if people think more about what they want in the long term, then they won't settle so much for the temporary happiness and like addiction that we tend to get just because you want to go to bed happy that night.
Right. And I think marriage and everything, from what I hear, enhances things like that, because once it's no longer voluntary to be sacrificing your happiness through dating, and now it's an obligation, the resentment seems to magnify ridiculously, so it's like, why set yourself up ahead of time for that, but I don't think people think that far. Like you said, I don't think they really assess that fully, and that's what leads to so much unhealthy shit. That's what leads to stuff that fails. So I don't know. I'm just not about it.
I think we are done. Let me see if we have any questions. Vaccines.
Sam is teaching.
I've had to be on. It's a real deal. Right? Yeah, my man just said, I love this. We out here. Let's go. Fire out here.
He's already reading the comments.
Any questions?
All right, we don't have any more questions.
It's not my podcast.
No, it's okay. It's out of my. Well, I mean, does anyone have any final thoughts? Like any disagreements? Any this is I agree with you, but up to this extent. Any like?
Well, I mean, it goes back to what we were saying, like prior to even getting on, right? Like the sacrifice word is a word for me that is non-existent when it comes to like being with somebody. Mm-hmm. Like if I have to sacrifice anything, then we don't need to be together. Mm-hmm. Like we should both be coming in with the ability to like be able to please ourselves individually and not feel like we're cheating ourselves out of something, but also at the same time being able to feed the individual that we're with, mm-hmm. and assuring that they're able to get all their whatever they want met. So for me, the word sacrifice shouldn't even exist when it comes to like being with the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agree with that. And I think what we were talking about earlier, where in relationships, people tend to grow together or they grow apart.
Right. I
feel like that sacrificing thing doesn't foster a healthy environment for growth where you can grow parallel to each other, where like with the lack of honesty and the lack of trust, like if I don't really know who you are, it's hard to grow parallel with you. So eventually we'll get to a point, like what Sam said, you're like, who the fuck are you?
Right, you go parallel with a fake version.
Yeah, and then it's like, who the fuck are you when something busts out the box? Like, who the fuck are you? And now the relationship is trash. Right. So I feel like it doesn't foster a healthy environment at all when you do have to sacrifice stuff, or you do have to make that decision of fostering and nurturing somebody's insecurities. It just doesn't, to me, like he said, it doesn't seem like you're compatible.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important for people individually, and especially women, to really look within yourself and judge how you feel about something off of your core things. Like try to take out what you were taught, what mom and dad did. Try to like really look at things from your core values. Like this really like pick it apart and make sure your relationship is the type of setup that's best for you, not what society says it should be, or not what this person's judging. Like make sure it works for y'all, because those are the marriages and the relationships that are healthy and that last. They set things up for what works for them, what not based around these lies and this American dream and all this bullshit. Like, no, like what does this person need and who are they? And is my relationship with you allowing you to have those things? Like, and
that takes a lot of unlearning.
It does. It does.
And I feel like you need somebody to walk you through that, and not necessarily your partner, but you need somebody to walk you through that unlearning process. Like me and you go hand in hand with walking each other through the unlearning of stuff.
Right. And like I said, Sam's teachings over the years really helped me.
Every time you say that, like people are like, this nigga had a school? Nah, I did not. You know what it is? I met Kim 2005. Mm-hmm. So even though I've we've known each other for 15 years. Yeah, exactly. Like all your men. I've known you for all your relationships, and it's extremely easy to talk to, not only because of how articulate you are and how well you are at explaining yourself, but you're one of the best listeners. Do you see what I'm saying? So like that's one of the hardest things is like someone that really knows how to listen to. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like throughout the course of years, we've had like a ton of conversations. So, but believe it or not, I've learned a lot from Kim too. So.
Oh, this is so cute.
We're not doing this. All right, we're gonna
learn more from Sam. It's important. It will help you think a lot healthier and self-reflect a lot better. And again, like I would be at my wedding attributing a big reason as to why I'm standing up there with this person I'm with right now. If we made it to that point,
Jesus,
to this guy.
Follow me, I shall lead you all to the light.
Gotta be open-minded and honest with yourself. That's at the end of the day.
Open your mind.
Ask yourself the right
Accept
questions.
the knowledge that I have for you.
Come on, me and Phil want to eat food, okay?
All right,
I want to eat food.
All right, well, let me hear it with my motherfucking sound effects. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your night.
Great.
Crazy.